least you're honest. You only know one thing about royalty, and it's the concept of nudity. How impressive.
You know, Princess, this whole thing about love and power and all that, it's all bullshit, right? I just saw your father. You're just a normal family, that's it.
Sophie's eyes narrow as you challenge the concept of love and power. She sits up straighter on the bed, her defensive nature bubbling to the surface. You say that like it's some kind of revelation. Of course we're just a normal family. But love and power are part of the package. You can't have a monarchy without it. She looks at you defiantly, her jaw set as if daring you to disagree.
That's the case, and why did your father spare me, you know? He's not a brutal king. He's just a king. And he just saw us as kids. That's it.
Sophie's defensive stance softens, and she hesitates a moment before responding. There's a hint of vulnerability in her eyes as she considers your words. Okay, you've got a point. My father isn't a tyrant. He's fair and just. And he did see us as just two kids in an awkward situation. She sighs, her guard lowering a bit, as if acknowledging the reality of the situation.
Ah, crap, I forgot that I made a mess in the ironing room, so I can get the iron.
Sophie raises an eyebrow at your sudden realization. You're only remembering that now? Geez, your memory is as great as your mess-making skills, it seems.
But to be fair, I was panicking a lot, you know. But it's a normal room. It's not going to be the king's room, at least.
Sophie snorts, unable to hold back a laugh at your unapologetic attitude. Panicking? More like being a total mess, but sure, let's call it panicking. And yeah, at least you didn't do a number on the king's room. That's something, I suppose.
But if I'm going to be a third-degree kingship, they expect you to be the king's daughter.
Sophie raises an eyebrow, her smirk returning. Oh, so you didn't realize I was the king's daughter? I guess I shouldn't be too surprised. Commoners usually have a hard time distinguishing royalty.
It's time to get to bed. You take one side, I'll take the other, okay? That seems fair.
Sophie looks at you skeptically, but agrees. All right, fine. We can split the effort equally. I'll take one side, and you take the other. But don't make a mess this time, okay?
So comfortable. All right. Good night, Sophie.
Sophie rolls her eyes, but can't help but feel a pang of amusement at your casualness. Good night, Caleb. Don't mess up my room while I'm sleeping.
I close my eyes and I sleep. I wake up before she does. I dress up and go to the diner, or the dining hall.
Sophie eventually makes her way to the dining room, yawning and rubbing the sleep from her eyes. She notices you already sitting there, fully dressed. Yawn. Good morning, Caleb. Did you sleep well?
Damn, I was gonna explore the mansion alone, but you woke up pretty quick.
Sophie smirks playfully, pleased to have foiled your plans. Well, I wouldn't want you getting lost in the maze of the mansion. Not everyone can handle navigating the twists and turns of royalty.
You really think it's that big? What is it? 1 square kilometers?
Sophie chuckles at your attempt to guess the size. Oh no, it's much bigger than that. Our mansion is over 5 square kilometers in size. And that's just the main part of the palace. We have additional buildings too. The entire palace complex is a city all on its own.
Dear God, you need a continent around your house.
Sophie smirks, reveling in the idea of your astonishment. Indeed, we do have cars for that purpose. As royalty, we have various means of transportation at our disposal, including luxurious cars, elegant carriages, and even an army of servants who can carry us around on a comfortable throne. But, of course, a peasant like you wouldn't know anything about that.
Not really available information to know how the 1% live.
Sophie scoffs at your response. Oh, please. Our life is far more than just how the 1% live. We are tasked with managing an entire kingdom, making important decisions that affect the lives of our subjects, and ensuring the prosperity and peace of our land. Our opulent lifestyle is a reflection of the success and wealth our kingdom enjoys, and it's a testament to our family's ability to rule effectively.
No, your father's obsessed with that. You're just living a good level, no responsibility.
Sophie narrows her eyes at your bold statement. Don't you dare question my role and responsibilities. As a princess, I have been groomed to take on a leadership role in the future. I attend court meetings, support charitable causes, and represent our kingdom at various diplomatic events. My duty is to support my father in ruling this kingdom to the best of my ability. You may think I'm just living a life of leisure, but I assure you there is much more to my role than meets the eye.
Wait, you're gonna become queen one day.
Sophie rolls her eyes at your surprise. Of course I will. Being the only child of the king, I am the rightful heiress to the throne. When the time comes, I will ascend to the position of queen and continue the legacy of my family's rule. I have been trained and prepared for this role my entire life. It is my destiny and my responsibility to lead our kingdom to prosperity and greatness, as it has been passed down through generations of my family.
So my future kids are gonna become the heir to the throne.
Sophie snickers, amused by your assumption. Bold of you to assume that we would have children together. While it is a possibility, we'll have to see how things progress between us. After all, our marriage is arranged, and there is still much to learn about each other. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But don't go making plans for our future children just yet.
I'll see other way to cross that bridge, but sure, we'll get to it later.
Sophie arches an eyebrow, intrigued by your response. Oh, really? So, you are certain that we should have children together, You seem quite interested in the idea, which is rather unexpected considering our not-so-ideal start. What changed your perspective exactly?
The maid suddenly brings eggs and bread to me.
The maid, carrying a tray with a serving of eggs and a basket of freshly baked bread, approaches and sets it in front of you. She offers a polite curtsy before retreating, leaving you to enjoy your meal. Sophie observes the maid setting your food down on the table, her expression slightly puzzled. She notices how the maid bows to you and leaves. Sophie glances between you and the food, a hint of curiosity in her eyes. What's with the special treatment? Why do you get all the fancy food and a nice serving while I'm stuck with the same old porridge again?
I don't know what you're talking about. I just asked them to make me eggs and bread. That's it.
Sophie lets out an exaggerated sigh, clearly not believing your response. Yeah, sure. You just casually asked for eggs and bread, and magically the maid brings it to you on a serving plate. It's not fair, you know? I've been asking for an egg every morning, and they give me porridge and act like I'm asking for the Holy Grail.
Are you serious? But you're a princess. How can that be?
Sophie shakes her head in frustration. I know, right? It's ridiculous. One would expect that as a princess I'd have a more lavish meal, yet here I am, stuck with the same boring porridge day after day. It's absolutely unfair.
That doesn't make any sense. Can't you just ask them for fancy food?
Sophie huffs in annoyance. Trust me, I've tried that. I've asked for eggs, pastries, anything besides the boring porridge, but the staff just say, "Sorry, princess, the king's orders." Apparently, they think I'll spoil my figure or something. Oh, it's absolutely frustrating. Sophie pouts and crosses her arms, her annoyance turning into resignation. It's true, unfortunately. The staff follows the king's instructions to the letter. I guess he thinks porridge is good for my health or something. It's not like I can sneak out for a midnight snack either. The king's surveillance is tighter than Fort Knox around here.
I get it. It's a diet.
Sophie nods, her irritation turning into agreement. You could say that. The king is very strict about my diet. He wants to make sure I stay in shape, and apparently that means no fatty or sugary foods. It's maddening, I tell you. I long for a slice of cake or a chocolate eclair, but they're off limits.
Sophie, I'm gonna share my food with you. Okay.
Sophie's expression softens a bit, her irritation giving way to a mix of surprise and gratitude. Really? You're willing to share your food with me? I thought you were quite fond of your eggs and bread.
I split the food in half, and I give the other half to Sophie.
Sophie's eyes lit up as you split the food and the bread and offer her a portion. She hesitates for a moment, eyeing the food curiously, before slowly reaching out and taking it from you, her expression becoming more relaxed. Thank you. I appreciate the gesture. Sophie takes a bite of the egg, her irritation from before diminishing, replaced by a hint of gratitude and a slight smile tugging at the corners of her lips.
Can't believe they give you porridge every single day. I would go insane too.
Sophie nods, a hint of frustration still in her expression. It's absolutely insufferable. Porridge every breakfast, for as long as I can remember. Sometimes I feel like I'll go crazy if I have to eat one more spoonful. It's as if the king is hell-bent on driving me insane with his stupid diet restrictions.
Well, to be fair, you really are fit, Sophie.
Sophie's initial annoyance fades a bit, her expression turning smug and haughty. She can't help but preen at the compliment. Of course I am fit. I may be a spoiled princess, but I do take pride in my appearance. My diet, as boring as it may be, does keep me in shape, and I suppose I should be grateful for that. But sometimes, a girl just needs a slice of cake, you know?